and God bless us all. I thank you guys for watching my YouTubes and to giving the good thumbs up. I really appreciate all your kind words, caring, and interest in the study of Leonardo da Vinci, teaching us still today that a human being can be so talented. I guess maybe that's why we like the Olympics. We're always looking for the perfect person or our God. Well, this is Jesus Christ, and this is the older Mona Lisa, which in Leonardo da Vinci's dreams and in his art and in his ability as a stylist has made that woman many. In my YouTubes it explains my belief of all what is within her. Now I'm going to show you the x-ray of this painting of mine that was done years ago, and it come out to be one of these shots as such. It spells out Salai, S-A-L-A-I. It is in some of my YouTubes also. But let me show you that this large image we have here, you can see, this is one of his tricks. You can see this line comes across, and another one comes across as a circle, and another one, and another, and they follow all the way down. Now, if you take a look, you can see when I put this up, it follows in the eyes. It's very, very cool, because what he does, if you see, this is Salai, one of his lovers. He puts them in the eye. And let me get that set. I'm sorry, it must have got bumped. And he puts it in the eye, and it could be anywhere, but this is my one setup area that I'm only talented of 1% of 100 in which he does. And he puts it in the eye, and then when you shift it, if you follow, you're going to see it in another scheme. If you follow it, these markings that you see as these frost that's over is actually matches up in the painting in certain areas. So what matches here, this may not match here until it gets way over here, and so on. This I call the Buffalo Man, and then when it gets to about right here, it matches perfectly. And this S-A-L-A-I, it runs over, and I'm going to show you, if you can bear with me and I can do it right. But as you can see, this animal within the V is the perfect type set that fits in her nose. Watch. See? So he gives, you can see the little dots he puts across here that gives these ding ding ding, here I am. But he also does a shift panel pattern to where you make it high or low. So in imagination, you see this right through here, this black line that runs through here will end up into the mouth when you lower it. And it's not going to be here because it's up, but I would have to really shift it to get it to here. And then on top of that, these markings again end up going across and showing up. So where I'm going to show you that is in this next piece here, which I have set for you. And hopefully it didn't set the item off when I had to shift it, but we'll see. We'll deal with it. As you can see, these lines, so that's why her eyes move. Watch. So we start over with the eye. I know it's very difficult. You start over with the eye, and then she looks over to him. And when it gets to a certain area, obviously, each particular one matches. Now here's the buffalo guy, and he matches here, right here, real well. But if you look in the stars, see this right here, how it has a tuba horn, and he's got this guy hanging out. If you look in the stars, he's in the stars. and then he's in the black that's not in the stars, and then he's hidden in her hair, and he follows it across. He gives these lines. He's kind of like connect the dots. So when you go across, like the S right here in the stars are hidden perfect. S-A-L-A-I. Now I take the words right here, and you can see partial of the writing. Now when you get back over to here, and here's the S again. You can see the S here. You can see the S here. So when you get the S here and the S here, you look in between, and he throws over the A right in here. Then he does a long L, and here's got a finger right there. So when you end up going to this area, you have to shift it again and bring it to that area, because he constantly writes his lover's name. And if you really look, I'm gonna show it to you in a second. You see, this is a hand. Watch. I just noticed it. Okay, so you're catching new evidence. This is actually a little finger and a hand, believe it or not. That's his little finger and a hand pointing up to Sali that's up here. Let me bring it down, because I'm going to show you exactly where that is that I just found that's in it with the same icon. So we have the little hand. It's very difficult to do this left-handed when you got arthritis. Don't get old, okay? It's right here, and he uses as a dot for the big long L. See? Now watch. See, you see it right there? Here's the hand. See the finger up there? Here's the little tiny finger. I'm going to see if it goes a little bigger. No, it don't. And I don't want to overdo it. But when this gets overlaid, let me follow this up so we don't lose it. There's going to take very little shifting for the other one for it to match perfectly. Okay, so I'm losing it there, and then this is how it takes hours and hours to do this. Okay, so what you got here is you got the hand right here, and you pull it back. Now watch, you pull it back, and the hand, when you go up, now I got to find it again. It's right there, right here. Because if you take a look, whoops, there's the hand. That is the portion of the hand. Watch. When I do the overlay with one little more. Right there. Those two match. So he spells out Sali with the hand and the dot in that area. But again, look how many shifts we did, because what he does is he writes the name, he writes the name, he writes the name, and broken record, repeat, copy, whatever it may be. Now, he's also got the big S and whatnot into the body. Watch. I'll show you. I'll show you in mine. If you take a look, if you can take a look at it in black, hang on. Watch. Now black's a color. Here it is. Big S that he wipes down. Okay? And this is only about 2/3 of the portion, but this is the beginning of the S. Now, if you also follow him, he spells love. He spells, here's the V, and then he has the big E over here. Here's the E. He has his O. Look at this S, a little S. See, so he's always spelling love Sali, S, and then he has his A, and he has his L that he shares out of a V. Okay, and then he has an A, and then he has an I, and that's the way Leo is. He will throw like your signature over the top of your signature over the top of your signature in different spacing, and makes his art. It's magnificent. But he also does it in code, and it goes crazy, endless. I don't know if I'm explaining it for you guys to really understand, because he's almost made me lose my mind in the sense of coming down. But here's the Mona, okay? And let me see if I can give you a little example. See, in here, that not only did he have the mountains, he's got these little people that turn into little things. So this guy's looking at this. Well, that was a mountain. That's a different level. Here's a person like in a tub, sitting, well, like with a motorcycle hat on. It goes endless. The face here actually stands for an O, and he's got an L, and then he gets his V in here and his E, L-O-V-E. And he keeps constantly spelling his name because he uses the arms. And we're talking, these are big pieces. The other ones are smaller, 20 times smaller than a grain of sand. This is really, really something. And if you take a look at her hand. Her hand, her right side, which is her left, right here is a claw. And why is it a claw? Well, my hypothesis thoughts is he had a stroke, and he's letting you know that of his time of his life that he's integrated these things. Because in my painting, her right has a physical problem of a finger of like really bad arthritis or something of that sort. But it's also to where that she does not show her right arm, as you see. Now, but deeper inside the painting of mine shows indications of a claw. And it's very, very difficult to try to explain it, but it's quite interesting how he gives these metaphors, and there's thousands of them. So what you have to do is the same thing that I was showing you of how he overlays his signatures, because if the way he overlays his signatures is the same way he does in his sense of paintings and pictures of trying to explain what his life was, what it is in, what he's after, to show you that what's happened to him, and so on. So if you take a look in one of my YouTubes, you'll see that this particular item of the bowling pin is right here, is 100% match in the painting that just came out. And so Leo is a very, very tricky guy. He's very sexual. He's very wise. He's very genius. And again, let's see the bowling pin. Okay, he uses that same metaphor as in the leg. So he kind of gives you a bowling pin in the leg and a little bowling pin in the other knee area, kind of, and then he gives one over here. So when you get into certain layers, that would most likely, without me having to, I would have an extremely strong thought that it would turn into a bowling pin. But he's not that obvious on stuff. And if you take also a look, you'll also see that this looks almost like a praising mantis, and then he's also a person looking this way, and this is almost like a praising mantis. And then if you take a look, this is the beak, and this so happens to be a bird right here, this portion, and it goes endless. And then you have another animal here, and it continues and continues, all these little secrets. And then here's a little puppy dog that so happens to be blistering out of her face that's right here. So this is a puppy dog, which is what he has in one of his paintings right here, which is not of his paintings, but it is a painting. I have to take that back, because everybody calls it a sketching, but it isn't. But let me just tell you that this particular dog actually has my man right there, dead center, that is in the painting when you pull it. And I call it a painting, but it's listed as Leonardo da Vinci's cortex of his diary. So he loved animals, and I consider him to be a Dr. Seuss, because Dr. Seuss was a person that, well, obviously is that had animals that he knew how to talk to. And I heard that he was a full vegetarian. And if you're a full vegetarian, you're not going to have the taste or the smell of blood on you. And that would make that animal feel more secure to be around. So he was extremely pleased with nature. You ought to see my personal type video that I put out today. That'll probably be out in a couple of days. And that will tell you a little about me and a little about Leonardo da Vinci and his nature of finding and drawing. I'm going to try to do my best to get into wild metaphors or something, and I hope I don't step the bounds. But while I got you on the mind, if you take a look at these icons, you see these icons right here? These icons right here, I changed the subject a lot, excuse me, and right here and here actually match up 100% in one of my YouTubes, 100%. Not just partly, okay? It matches up right in these areas to where that when you overlay the two together, you end up with the perfect match when they fit. And this isn't the area, but just giving you an example. You line up those two little marks, and you'll have his dog in such a thing as that. He sometimes also he will use an image that is so large, as big as the Mona Lisa, and he would put her whole head in my painting. So in other words, you would end up the whole face in here, but then you'll also end up with her whole arm, because if you really look, you can see the top of it come down here and then cut on over. So he doesn't have to put her whole body in there. He puts the overlay of a portion of her. He's got her from head to toe, and it doesn't have to be complete, because any piece, any piece of Leonardo da Vinci's love, which is the Mona, is in there, he's happy. He don't care if it's one big eyeball or one pinky or the whole arm or the whole head or all of her. He's happy. He covers every square inch of this woman, which is a wannabe as far as I'm concerned, and a wannabe of anything, of any sort, of any love, of any degree, of any dreams and realities and such, is magnificent. When we see our Maker, I want to see Him. And you can't stop love. Love is endless, no matter from universe to earth, as thou shalt say, what we shall, what is to happen in heaven should happen on earth, or vice versa. And so kind of got me rattled there a little bit. I'm spinning my eyes right now like a slot machine, and I don't gamble. But what I'm trying to say is Leonardo da Vinci is a magnificent man. And if you see the silhouette covering of the painting, how it goes out like this, and it goes around the darker section, and it kind of fades out. Well, that's the same here. Another Leo trick. That's the same as my painting. If you take a look, he's got the same outline, and then when you overlay the two, guess what? Boom! They fit 100% within the unit. See, you can see his face. You can see his face matching You can see the eyeball and the nose slipping through here without me going on, and you can see the same here. All you have to do is set the size, and that's the trick, because he is very tricky. Okay, so if anybody says that Leo was easy, you need to talk to all the great examiners, and they're going to know that they've been fooled. And what I think, this is my opinion about the artist examiners of Leonardo da Vinci. There's several things. They're either mafia individuals who are trying to conceal all the magnificent works and don't want nobody to know about what is still out there, because there is a lot of paintings out here. You think he's only going to do a dozen paintings? Ha! The greatest guy in the world? No. Two is that when you end up with somebody and a genius and you don't fall in love with his work as much as I have, you would not spend 8 to 12 hours a day and give up your whole business of a Camaro business, the world's largest Camaro business in the world for used parts, to work on this, because I fell in love with his work. Okay.
Thank you, and I love you. Have a great day.